Hello and welcome back to Tune in English. How are you all doing today? We're here to practice our listening and speaking skills with a short, interesting story. It's about my friend, Clara, and her unforgettable and a little crazy day trip to the countryside. Her adventure did not go as planned. Her story is full of useful English phrases we use all the time. I'll explain them all at the end, so make sure you stay tuned. Try repeating after me to practice your pronunciation. If you enjoy learning like this, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's tune in to Clara's story. My friend Clara called me early last Saturday morning. Her voice was full of excitement. "I need to get out of this city for a day," she said. "I found a beautiful lake on the map. Let's check it out." I agreed immediately. The city noise was driving me crazy. An hour later, we were in my old car. We had a simple picnic basket and a fuzzy map. The sun was shining brightly. We were on cloud 9, singing along to the radio. The busy city streets slowly turned into open fields. Green hills rolled out before us like a soft carpet. Clara pointed at a herd of cows. "Look, it's a sight for sore eyes," she laughed. I had to agree. The fresh air smelled like grass and earth. It was a breath of fresh air from the city smog. We followed a narrow country road. It twisted and turned through small forests. Our goal was Crystal Lake, a small blue spot on our map. "This is going to be a piece of cake to find," Clara said confidently. She was always the optimistic one. I was just happy to be along for the ride. We passed the small farm with the curious donkey. It stared at us as we drove by. We laughed and waved at it. Everything felt perfect and peaceful. We were on top of the world. After about an hour, the paved road ended. It became a rough gravel path. My little car bounced and shook on the uneven surface. "Are you sure this is the right way?" I asked Clara. She studied the map with a frown. "It should be. Hold your horses, we must be close," she said. The trees grew thicker, blocking the sun. The cheerful feeling in the car began to fade. We drove deeper into the woods. The gravel path then turned into 2 dirt tracks. Tall grass scratched the sides of my car. I started to feel a little nervous. "Clara, maybe we took a wrong turn," I suggested. She shook her head. "No, I'm crossing my fingers that it's just up ahead." We continued driving slowly. The woods were very quiet now. Suddenly, we heard a loud thump. The car jerked to one side. A terrible grinding sound came from underneath. My heart sank. I pulled over to the side of the path. "What was that?" Clara asked, her eyes wide. I turned off the engine. The silence of the woods felt heavy. We got out of the car to look. The front tire on my side was completely flat. It was as flat as a pancake. A sharp rock was stuck deep in the rubber. We stared at each other. Our perfect day trip had just hit a big problem. We were in the middle of nowhere. Our phones had no signal. We were up a creek without a paddle. We stood there in the quiet woods, staring at the flat tire. "Well, this is just great," Clara said, kicking a pebble. "We're in a pickle now." I sighed and opened the trunk to get the spare tire. I found the tire, but then my heart sank again. The jack was missing. "You have got to be kidding me," I muttered. My old car had let me down. We were back to square one with no way to fix the tire. The cheerful bird song now sounded mocking. Our perfect adventure was down the drain. We had 2 choices. We could sit and hope someone would drive by, or we could start walking and hope to find help. Sitting and waiting felt useless. "Let's get a move on," Clara said, trying to sound brave. "That farm we passed can't be too far back." We locked the car and started walking. The gravel road felt much longer on foot. The sun was getting hotter. After 20 minutes, we saw a wooden fence. "Thank goodness," I said. We followed the fence, hoping it led to a house. Soon, a small old farmhouse came into view. An elderly man was fixing a fence post in a field. He looked up as we approached. We must have looked lost and worried. "Hello?" I called out, my voice a little shaky. Sorry to bother you. Our car broke down about a mile up the road. We have a flat tire and no jack." The old man wiped his forehead with a handkerchief. He looked us over carefully. He had kind eyes and a weathered face. "A flat tire, eh?" he said in a slow, calm voice. "That's a bit of bad luck. My name's Walter." He pointed towards his barn. "I have an old jack in there. It should do the trick." Relief washed over me. "Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver," Clara exclaimed. Walter gave a small smile. "It's no trouble. Better safe than sorry out here." He led us to his dusty barn. It was filled with tools and the smell of hay. He found a heavy, rusty jack. "This old thing has seen better days," he chuckled, "but it should still work." He insisted on driving us back to our car in his old truck. The truck bounced even more than my car had. Walter was a man of few words. He looked at our flat tire and got to work. He moved slowly but with practiced skill. "So, you city folks were looking for Crystal Lake?" he asked as he worked. We nodded. "Well, you took the long way around," he said with a kind laugh. "The main entrance is on the other side. This old road hasn't been used in years." Soon the spare tire was on. "There you go. Good as new," Walter said, wiping his hands. We thanked him over and over again. "It was the least I could do," he said. "But you two look like you could use a proper lunch. My wife Martha just took a fresh berry pie out of the oven. Why don't you come on in for a slice before you head back?" He wasn't just helping us with the car. He was offering us kindness we never expected. Our terrible situation was suddenly turning around. Walter's farmhouse was cozy and smelled amazing. The smell of baked apples and cinnamon filled the air. A warm woman with a big smile greeted us at the door. "Well, hello there. I'm Martha," she said. "Walter told me we have guests." She ushered us into her small, tidy kitchen. A perfect golden pie sat cooling on the counter. "Please make yourselves at home," she said, pointing to the wooden table. We sat down, feeling a little shy. Martha cut 2 huge pieces of pie for us. She gave Walter a slightly smaller piece. She winked at us. He's already had a sample. The pie was incredible. It was the best thing I had ever tasted. "This is delicious," Clara said. "You've outdone yourself." Martha laughed. "It's an old family recipe. Practice makes perfect, I suppose." We talked as we ate. They told us about their life on the farm. They had lived there for over 50 years. They told funny stories about animals getting loose. We told them about our busy city jobs. Walter shook his head slowly. "It sounds like you two are always burning the candle at both ends." I realized he was absolutely right. We were always rushing. We never just sat and talked anymore. After pie, Martha asked, "Would you like to see the real Crystal Lake?" We looked at each other in surprise. "The real one?" I asked. Walter nodded. "The one on the map is just a pond now. The beautiful one is on our land." He led us through a path behind the barn. The path opened up to a stunning view. A small, clear lake sparkled under the sun. It was surrounded by weeping willow trees. It was like a secret paradise. "Oh, Walter, it's perfect," Clara whispered. We spent the next hour there. We skipped stones on the water. We just sat and enjoyed the quiet peace. It was the exact escape we needed. We just found it in a completely different way. Finally, we knew we had to head back. We walked slowly to our car. We said our goodbyes to Walter and Martha. "Thank you for everything," I said. My voice was full of real emotion. "You saved our day." Martha hugged us both. "You girls are always welcome here. Don't be a stranger." Walter shook our hands firmly. We got in the car and started the drive home. The city lights eventually appeared in the distance. The silence in the car was thoughtful and calm. Clara broke the silence first. "You know," she said,
We were so focused on finding that spot on the map. I nodded. I know. We almost missed the boat on a much better experience. Our planned perfect trip was a total disaster, but the unplanned disaster turned into a perfect trip. We met kind people. We ate amazing pie. We found a hidden lake. We learned a valuable lesson about slowing down. Sometimes the best adventures find you. You just have to be open to them. Now I always remember to stop and smell the roses.
All right, everyone. Fantastic job listening to Clara's adventure. Now let's take a closer look at all those useful phrases you heard. We're going to break them down one by one so you can start using them in your own conversations. Ready? Let's begin. Phrase 1. Get out of. To leave a place, often to escape a situation or to take a break. Story example. I need to get out of this city for a day. Extra example sentence. After studying for 5 hours, I needed to get out of the house for some fresh air. Phrase 2. Check it out. To go and look at something to see what it's like, to investigate or explore. Story example. I found a beautiful lake in the map. Let's check it out. Extra example sentence. I heard there's a new cafe on Main Street. We should check it out this weekend. Phrase 3. Driving me crazy. To be very annoying or frustrating. Story example. The city noise was driving me crazy. Extra example sentence. That tapping sound from the window is driving me crazy. Phrase 4. On cloud 9. To be extremely happy. Story example. We were on cloud 9 singing along to the radio. Extra example sentence. When she passed her exam, she was on cloud 9. Phrase 5. A sight for sore eyes. Someone or something that is very pleasant to see, especially after a difficult time. Story example. Look, it's a sight for sore eyes. Extra example sentence. After a long and tiring journey, my bed was a sight for sore eyes. Phrase 6. A breath of fresh air. Something new, different, and refreshing that is a welcome change. Story example. It was a breath of fresh air from the city smog. Extra example sentence. Her positive attitude was a breath of fresh air in the office. Phrase 7. A piece of cake. Something that is very easy to do. Story example. This is going to be a piece of cake to find. Extra example sentence. Don't worry, the test was a piece of cake. Phrase 8. Along for the ride. To join an activity without being directly involved in planning or controlling it. Story example. I was just happy to be along for the ride. Extra example sentence. I don't mind where we eat. I'm just along for the ride. Phrase 9. On top of the world. To feel wonderful, extremely happy, and successful. Story example. We were on top of the world. Extra example sentence. After getting the promotion, he felt on top of the world. Phrase 10. Hold your horses. A friendly way to tell someone to slow down, stop, or wait. Story example. Hold your horses. We must be close. Extra example sentence. Hold your horses. Let me explain before you leave. Phrase 11. Crossing my fingers. To hope for good luck, a wish for something to happen. Story example. No, I'm crossing my fingers that is just up ahead. Extra example sentence. I'm crossing my fingers that the weather is nice for our picnic. Phrase 12. As flat as a pancake. Completely flat. Story example. It was as flat as a pancake. Extra example sentence. After the storm, one of my bicycle tires was as flat as a pancake. Phrase 13. Up a creek without a paddle.
in a difficult situation with no obvious way to solve it. Story example, we were up a creek without a paddle. Extra example sentence, if I lose my passport here, I'll be up a creek without a paddle. Phrase 14, in a pickle, in a difficult or confusing situation. Story example, well, this is just great. We're in a pickle now. Extra example sentence, I forgot my wallet at home, so I'm in a bit of a pickle. Phrase 15, let me down. To disappoint someone, to fail someone who trusted you. Story example, my old car had let me down. Extra example sentence, I trusted him to help me, but he let me down.
And that's it for today. You learned so many fantastic phrases. Now, the most important part is to practice them. Try using just one new phrase this week. You can do it. To help you, remember you can download the full story and all the phrase examples as a free PDF from the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Tune in English for more. I'd love to know which phrase was your favorite. Tell me in the comments. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.